Oh, yeah. And another thing. Many blockbuster trades happened in NFL. Of course, Aaron Rodgers re-signed with the Packers. That wasn't a trade, but that was an extension. You had Khalil Mack, who was a Bear. Now he's a Charger. And the Chargers did a wonderful thing and I gave up a first-round draft pick. But I want to focus this on Russell Wilson, the former Seahawks quarterback, now a Bronco quarterback. He now is a Bronco. And the trade will officially happen Wednesday, but the trade was announced that it's going to happen earlier this week. And what the Seahawks will receive in return for Wilson would be 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, Drew Lock, the previous starting quarterback for the Broncos, Noah Fant, the previous starting tight end for the Broncos, and Shelby Harris, he's a defensive lineman. Now, the Broncos will also receive a 4th-round draft pick too, and the best way I could actually describe this trade would be the following. So Wilson was disgruntled when he was a Seahawk. He saw that when he was basically taking over the reins as the number 1 guy there after the LOB era ended, he was seeing a lot of things that he didn't like. He was seeing the front office of the Seahawks not really listening to what he had to say. He was seeing the head coach, Pete Carroll, I won't say be dismissive, but sort of treated him sort of like yeah, kid, yeah, we'll get to that in a moment, and dismissing him fashion. And Wilson wasn't liking that. And I can understand why he wouldn't like that. I wouldn't either. Being patronized and not being heard, yeah, I could understand that. Grown man, he brought the team a championship, the first one in franchise history, led them to another Super Bowl the following year. And of course, we don't have to mention that. But after that, even though the team still kept winning 10 plus games, they just weren't a cohesive unit. And you could tell on the field, although Wilson did a great job to not say it off of the field. And that was the issue. He was seeing things that he didn't like. He was seeing a dilapidated offensive line. And the reason why I point that out is because out the last 5 years, you can name any NFL quarterback that has played and started in all, well, I would say 80, but now 81 games in the last 5 years. There has not been a quarterback that's been sacked more than Russell Wilson. So the offensive line was atrocious, either injury riddled or they just simply weren't skilled enough, which led to the running game issues that they had because you had a rotating bunch of running backs who they were capable of doing the job for maybe 2-3 games, but they'll be out for long stretches, or they just simply would give you 2, if you're lucky, 3 yards a carry. So on the offensive end, that's problematic because what would that mean for Russell Wilson? Well, that means that he would have to get on his bicycle and run and basically be the Seahawks offense when it came to the running game. Now they did have the studs on offense as well. You know, DK Metcalf, and he made Tyler Lockett a stud in the wide receiver cores. So you had weapons, and on the defensive side, of course, you had Wagner. Now he is on his way out. So you had a defense that was declining in skill, and they were declining as well in, health, and they were getting older. And plus, you were having the front office saying to Wilson, we would get talent to replace the guys who are leaving, but that contract you're under, you handcuff us, you hamstring us. We can't do anything. And besides, we can't entertain what you want because, you're our quarterback and you should do what we want. Well, Wilson found that problematic. And so quietly behind the scenes for the last couple of years, he's been asking to be dealt out of Seattle and have them start in earnest their rebuilding program once the trade is done in earnest. Well, now the trade is here. And so now I look at the Broncos end now that they have Wilson, and here's what I find interesting. So you have running backs. You have a running back tandem in Gordon, and in oh, good Lord, the name is escaping me. The name is escaping me. Williams. There we go. Geronte Williams, the now second-year player out of North Carolina. So you have running backs. Both of them came close to getting 1,000 yards. So you have a decent offensive line, but you still have issues on the offensive line because, well, luck was put to the turf often too. So they run block pretty well, but the pass blocking, that's where the issue comes to play for me. And now that Noah Fant is a Seahawk, because to me, I really believed that Fant would have done wonders for Wilson. You don't really have the reliable tight end that I believe Wilson would need. But of course, you have Jeudy on one side and you have Courtland Sutton on the other. So you have wide receivers there. And unlike the Seahawks, they were getting older on defense. You have the Broncos who were building and getting younger on the defensive end. Bradley Chubb with the linebacking core, Patrick Surtain in the secondary. So you have studs on the team. The issue that I have is the continuity on the offensive line and the defensive line. What they need to do is stop the run, and they need to be more effective running the ball, and they need to stress that Russell Wilson needs to not run the ball as much as he has done in his career. Those are the things to me that give me the pause and make me wave the, can I say, I won't say blood dripping red. I'll say slightly stained in the washer red flag. Other than that, I think he will be heard by the Broncos because now he comes as a grizzled veteran, a Super Bowl champion. He's been to the Super Bowl 2 times, and he is the type of person and type of quarterback that General Manager John Elway would court and drag onto the team. Now, of course, he was aiming for Aaron Rodgers because of Nathaniel Hackett being the new head coach, and Hackett was the former offensive coordinator for the Packers. But of course, that didn't work out. Under the scenes, though, they had Russell Wilson as their plan B, and he fits the mold. Elway bet the farm on Peyton Manning's twilight of his career, played 4 years, gave him 2 Super Bowl trips and 1 Super Bowl championship. He rolled the dice again with Joe Flacco. It didn't really work so well for him, but Elway wants to try those moves, and so this is the next move that he's trying with a veteran quarterback, basically being the guy to lead this team that's young almost everywhere else to the promised land. Now, will I say Super Bowl this year? No. Will I say Super Bowl contender this year? Maybe. Will I say an NFC West championship contender? I think it's safe to say it is. But Wilson will be happier because I believe he will have the ear of Elway. He will have the ear of the front office, and they will listen to Wilson. And I think that's something that he has never had in his NFL career. So just from that aspect, Wilson has won the trade. Now, as for the teams winning the trade, the Seahawks are definitely rebuilding, and there's no question about that. You could see it in having them deal Wilson and having them get what they have in return, and then having them release Wagner as well. For the Broncos, it's about a win now scenario, and they're trying to slide all their chips in the center of the table, just like the Rams did the year before, with doing the same thing, trading Goff and two more draft picks for Matthew Stafford. Will the Broncos get the same result? I don't think they have enough talent to pull it off. But they may do like what the Rams did last year and all throughout the season, and that is to get picks and not get picks, but get players in the middle of the season and see if they can plug holes as they go along the way. It's a good move for the Broncos. It's a championship winning move. I think we'll have to see. It might be in 2023, but in 2022, maybe not so much. Tune in next time, and thank you so much.